Good evening, listeners. It is the second week of August, and welcome back to another episode of Teenage U's Discussion Podcast. And tonight, I wanted to do a looking forward vlog for September's launch lineup. This month is quite a hefty month, starting with Knack 2 on the 5th and Destiny 2 on the 6th, right after. Oddly, that's a Wednesday. Normally, we get releases on Tuesdays and Fridays. And speaking of Friday of this month, of the first week of this month, a game worth its weight um, finally comes around. It is called Monster Hunter Stories. A lot of us over here at Teenage U have been waiting for this game. We've tried the demo from Japan. We've been following the anime right on. And we've been, as many of you know, we are also avid hunters for Monster Hunter Generations at this point. And here's hoping that Double Cross comes to the Switch locally, as much as we're already playing the demo for that. Anyway, I'll get into more detail with that later on. So week 2, starting September 12th, we are finally getting the sequel. Well, I am getting the sequel. I don't know if you guys are excited about this, because a lot of people that I've talked to don't even know what the Yeast series is. And this is called Yeast 8, Lacrimosa of Dana. And this comes out on the PC, PS4, and the PS Vita. If you guys are still interested in the limited editions, I think Nippon Ichi Software America, or NISA, still has limited editions in stock. I think they have under 10% as far as I remember. On that same day, we are also getting Konami's Pro Evolution Soccer 2018. So soccer fans out there, this month is a big month for you guys. And the 15th, a couple days after, we will be getting a PC port of Divinity 2, Original Sin. And multi-platform will be getting Dishonored Death of the Outsider, which is technically a side story slash kind of it's happening after the events of 1 and 2 kind of idea. And as the subtitle says, the main characters in this game are going to attempt to assassinate the Outsider, if you guys are aware of the lore. Next up is on the 3DS, and that is Samus Returns, Metroid Samus Returns. This is for the 3DS, and this is a remake of the Game Boy, I believe, Metroid 2. So this is something to look forward to, especially for myself, since I started my Metroidvania craze over with the Game Boy Advance already. I know, I'm a little late. But anyway, week 2 ends with another sports game, NHL 18. So there's that. Now let's go over to week 3. Week 3 is quite heavy on the fighting games, but doesn't encompass the whole month's fighting games. So first off, we have, on the 19th, we have Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and that's coming out again on the 19th, along with NBA 2K18. So another sports game for you guys. The Friday right after is technically September's Pokemon Day. The eShop is going to be blessed with the original versions of Gold and Silver. That has the same compatibilities as the previous release of Red, Blue, and Yellow. So you can collect a Pokemon there and transfer it via the bank. So that's something to look forward to. And on the same day, we are getting Pokken Tournament Deluxe on the Nintendo Switch. So there is that. And to cap off that week, we are getting Project Cars 2. So that's, I think, the only racing game that we have this month. Now, week 4, we have on Tuesday, the 26th, we have Blue Reflection on the PS4 and Danganronpa V3 on the Sony systems. And which this last one, well, technically not the last one, but the last one of the 26th, Bethesda caught up. So just this week, we actually got the announcement that Fallout 4 Game of the Year is coming out. So that also includes, if you never got to get the Pip-Boy edition, it's out again. So look forward to that. Order that at the Bethesda store right now. I'm not sure which other retailers at this point carry the limited editions, but As far as I know, last time I checked, it's linked to the blog. Bethesda store has the Pip-Boy editions in stock. So this is great for those who didn't pick up any of the DLCs, or those who didn't even pick up Fallout 4 in the first place. It's a great game. If you've played the previous Fallouts, it's a little bit lacking in depth in a lot of critics' opinions. But we're excited to be able to talk about this game because we've been holding back. As you guys know, we're only about a year old. We did start off around the time that Fallout 4 and Witcher came out, but we never really launched any content from that point on. So we kind of saved these kind of things for when the Game of the Year editions came out. Unfortunately, we didn't start this kind of treatment until this year of this July, the July of this year. So I do want to redo a Witcher 3 play and tell. So look forward to that because I do want to talk about Fallout 4 because I did play a good amount of it on Xbox and PC. So to cap it off, the month of September ends for the launch lineup on the 29th, and we finally get to play the indie game Cuphead. So there's that, and FIFA 18 on multi-platform, and Gundam Versus on the PlayStation, and Total War Warhammer 2 on the PC. Whew, that's a pretty packed month if you tell me. So what do we plan to play and tell? So I want to go ahead and start off the whole month with Monster Hunter stories. I never got sucked into knack to be able to really say that, oh yeah, I'm waiting for the sequel for this game. I mean, as much as it looks good, upgraded, I may try it down the line, but not on the launch. But definitely I do want to pick up Monster Hunter Stories. If you haven't picked up the demo yet in the American eShop or the European eShop, it just came out last week or this week, just a couple days ago. If you're interested in that, it gives you the first entire region of the game. So you can collect up to, I think, 5 different eggs, 5 or 6, I'm not sure exactly the number, but 5 or 6 different eggs on different monsters. And you get to experience the story up to a certain point. So it's a pretty hefty demo, and I believe you can transfer the save data onto the game. So I'm not sure if you have to even repeat that whole section, or if you can just roll off from that point onward. So that's a good thing. Best part of it, there's no limit to launching this demo, unlike a lot of different demos where you can only launch it like 30 times. So at this point, no, there's nothing like that. So if you're on the fence about this game, or you have never heard of the Monster Hunter franchise before, definitely try out the demo. There's also a demo for Monster Hunter Generations. Like I said, if you guys have never heard of this title, try it out. I mean, it's pretty much mindless grinding for collecting armors and stuff like that in regards to Monster Hunter Generations, but it's very satisfying because of the fact that it really does encourage a lot of co-op play online or locally, either way. Now the week after, I'll be sinking my teeth in the world of Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. On PS4 and PC mainly. I've been waiting for this game for a long time. When they announced it in Japan back in, I think, 2014, I pre-ordered the Vita version of the game in Japanese. I played through a bit of it, but I told myself, you know what, I want to enjoy the entirety of the game when it finally comes out locally, because chances are I'm going to have to go through the whole thing over again just to be able to support the developers over here for localization purposes. So, a lot of the Ys games are actually getting ported to the PC now thanks to Xseed Games. So if you've missed any of them, I do recommend looking them up on Steam if you've got a PC. Especially if you don't have a Vita or a PSP readily available for you anymore. So it's definitely something to look forward to. The last Ys entries that I truly loved was Ark of Napishtim and Oath of Felghana. And those, I believe, I think both of them are remakes of the original Famicom version. I'm not sure exactly, but those are the two that I really sank my teeth in when I had my PSP back in the day. So that's definitely something to look forward to. Like I said a while ago, those two titles are both on PC now, thanks to Exceed. They're on Steam. Um, Ye 7 is coming out at the end of August, so at the end of the month, you can actually try the seventh entry to the series as well. It's not exactly my favorite because they removed the jumping mechanism and they changed it with a dashing and the switching party members mechanism, which is not really my cup of tea. I do miss the old-fashioned Ark of Nepishtim, Oath of Felghana mechanics, which I think they kind of brought back to Lacrimosa of Dana, just a little bit more on the modernized page. So anyway, um, other than that, it's Metroid actually is the next thing that I want to go ahead and go and do is Metroid Samus Returns on the 3DS. We haven't been hailed by a really good Metroidvania game in a long time, and a lot of the indies on Kickstarter haven't been released just yet. The latest one that we've gotten that I'm still holding back because I'm waiting for the Switch release is Hollow Knight. That one was a really good game. It was a great game, and there's a challenge. There's challenge to the game. There's depth to the game. There's lore and there's atmosphere. It was just a really great game, and I look forward to playing and telling once the Switch one comes out. So definitely look forward to that. And so, next up, I think I want to have a taste of Dishonored, Death of the Outsider. I don't think I'll be telling about it in much detail since I haven't finished the first two Dishonored games just yet. They're on my backlog, and I do plan to play it as soon as I hook up my Xbox back on. I had to move things around, and my Xbox was the last thing that I ended up not putting back on. So, um, yeah, I'll go around to doing that, and maybe I can just do a 3-in-1 um, vlog about all three games in general, so that way I can just go ahead and write about the whole thing, you know. So, um, afterwards, I think everybody at TNHU is going to be beating each other up when it comes to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Pokken Tournament Deluxe, and Gundam Versus. We love our fighting games here. We've been massive players of Mortal Kombat since the PS3. I mean, together as a group. Ever since that, we've been on Injustice 2 recently, Tekken 7, Street Fighter 4-ish, 5, we haven't really touched much, but we do love our Mortal Kombat. So we love our fighting games, so we're looking forward to this to see if it hooks us just as much as Mortal Kombat has in our lives. So there's that, and the first two are actually going to be wonderful to play on the Hori Rap 4 Kai Fight Stick. I'm not sure if it's a Rap 4 is what they're going to be calling it, but there's going to be a Hori Fight Stick for the Nintendo Switch. So that would be a good accessory to pick up if you guys want to do a Pokken tournament. Legit, authentic fighting game experience. I think it's also viable for a lot of the Neo Geo games because those were all played on the arcade anyway. So that's going to be a cool new accessory for the Switch. So I'm looking forward to seeing the reviews for that and seeing what people think about that. But I do back the PS4 version of the Hori Fight Stick, the Hori Rap 4 Kai, and I do play a lot of my fighting games there. The what's it called? The 2D ones instead of the 3-dimensional fighting games like Gundam Versus. Gundam Versus would be bad on it because I think we have to utilize and really use camera controls. So there's something like that we have to worry about. Now finally, Cuphead. Dude, we've been waiting for this game for ages. When they announced this a while back, it's an indie game, so obviously it would take a lot longer than it should, but it looks beautiful. Like, it looks so beautiful. It's like gorgeous retro HD. Felix the Cat animations from God knows when. But it just looks stunning. I'm a student of animation as we speak right now, 2D and 3D both, and I really do appreciate a really gorgeous 2D animation set. It's hard work, but if you're able to really translate the animations the way they do in Cuphead, it just really looks really great. It looks great. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, just alone with how gorgeous it looks to me. So we've been waiting for this game, and September can't just come any sooner. I mean, not that I want time to go by fast, because that just means that every time I look forward, by the time I look back and stop and smell the roses, it's the end of the month, and God, time goes way too fast once in a while. So I'll be patient. We've been patient enough, right? Now, runner up, I will be looking into how Bethesda goes ahead and does their Game of the Year for Fallout 4. So this is, again, this is something I do want to cover later down the line. If I get the time to do it in September when it launches, I will. But I definitely want to do a play and tell vlog in regards to Fallout 4, because it is one of those games that that's pretty up there. I've been a big Fallout fan since 3 and New Vegas, so that's something to really mention. I played the crap out of those games back in high school. I tried getting into the first few, the top-down ones on PC. Fortunately, I couldn't get into it as much, but I wanted to go ahead and research the lore and the story of how things go, because there were a lot of plot holes that can only be filled by those games once you get really deep into the Fallout 3, New Vegas 4 lore. So, a lot of lore building is included with the first couple games that Bethesda released back in the day. So, I mean, it was first released in November of 2015. Now it's finally back, complete as ever. It's got all the DLC that it ever came with in the past couple years. And I've been playing it on the PC and the Xbox One. So I mean, I've been repeating it over and over just to, really compare the two. I still don't know which I want to definitively play on. I'm definitely a big console person, but at the same time, I like the fluidity, the modding availability, and just the graphic capacity of the PC engines. So it's a tough call, because it's efficient to be on the console. I love my consoles, but it really depends what you're looking for. So it's really difficult. But yeah, like I said a while ago, if you guys have yet to pick up the DLC for this, this is your chance. I think it's still cheaper to get the season pass instead, because I think it's a $60 game for the Game of the Year. Pretty heavy for the entire thing, but normally when you get a Game of the Years, they're usually a good, I don't know, 50, 60, sometimes 40, 49. Like Witcher's Complete Edition, I think right now is 49 now, so the asking price of $60, not even $59.99. It's straight up 60. So I mean, there's a lot of hefty DLC included in Fallout 4. So excuse me, that's definitely something to look forward to. But yeah, so yeah, if you guys have never touched Fallout 4, or you've never picked up the DLC, here's your chance. I mean, it's a full $60, but heck, I mean, weigh your differences. If it's cheaper to get the season pass, just get that instead of this. But we'll see how it goes. Yep. So that's our September launch lineup and our plans for our play and tell for the series that we want to call play and tell. That's a setup for what we want to do next month. All right. So when these games come out, right now in August, we're just releasing like about 1-2 vlogs every weekend. But come September, we'll be going ahead and doing a couple more, because we're going to be talking about a lot of the video games. I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm not planning to do directly the same week. That's the ultimate goal, definitely, to report on the same week that a specific game launches. But I'll try my best to do that. If not, just, stay tuned. We'll definitely go ahead and do all of those. But, yeah, that just sets up our Play and Tell series for next month. So stay tuned and chime in where it counts. And see you all around. And good night, everybody. TNHU, signing out.